So what's the best recovery kit for you? Maxtrax have got a couple of different options. Today I'm going to discuss their most basic option, which I think is the one that you could possibly start with, add on from there, and build the perfect recovery kit for your adventure. Hi guys, welcome back to Loading Up. Today I'm going to run you through, once again, I've done videos on these before, the Maxtrax Recovery Kits. The more I use these things, the more I absolutely love them. If you've been full driving for as long as I have, you'll remember the days of taking shackles, chains, big recovery straps with you. The amount of gear that we used to carry, winch cables were all steel back in those days. There was no such thing as like kinetic ropes. There was no such thing as soft shackles. I think people are a lot more versed on what these kits are all about now. A couple of the big advantages is obviously the lightweight, like I've just spoken about, but when it comes to safety, you can't beat soft recovery gear over your conventional recovery gear. I'm gonna run you through the Maxtrax Beach Kit. Now, this is the kit that Mia carries in her Jeep. If you go back to the Moreton Island episodes, when I was training Mia on how to do a couple of different recovery techniques, then into the high country, and we're about to set off on another big trip for season 9 of Patriot Games. And I just wanted to run everyone through these kits once again and why I love the Maxtrax Recovery Kit so much. You don't have to really think about the different recovery gear that you need. I run a kit in my truck, she runs one in hers, and we have never needed anything else. Gets us out of every situation. With the beach kit, one of the new things that we've just started using is their actual winch blankets. Again, I think everybody's really well versed on how to use recovery gear these days. I don't think I need to go into depth with that sort of aspect of it. But the big thing I love about these, the dampeners, is you can fill these with whatever you like. Generally sand, soil, rocks, bark, logs, whatever you need to get that weight. The more dampening force that you have on this, if the worst was to happen and something was to let go, the quicker that's going to stop and bring that rope straight to the ground, or the hook straight to the ground. A couple of other things that you get in the Maxtrax Beach Kit. This is a static rope, 3 metre static rope. So this has got no give in it like a kinetic rope, which I'll discuss the kinetic rope a little bit more once again, but these are really good for dead towing. So let's say, for example, that you're in a very small situation, or you need a winch extension that you're not going to be putting, the car's not in a big bog, it just needs a little bit of a hand to get out. Or if you needed to flat tow a vehicle, which we've done multiple times to get it to a tow truck or get it across a barge or something like that, that's where these things come in really handy. Now, the kinetic rope is my favourite in the kit. That's a 10 metre long rope. They're called kinetic because they build kinetic energy. Effectively, what they do is they're like a rubber band, right? As that rope gets more load on it, gets more weight across it, it stretches out like a rubber band till it gets to the point that it just can't stretch anymore. When it can't stretch anymore, all of that built up energy in the rope will retract. And when you see, if you haven't done it yourself or you watch on Patriot Games, when you see that big shock of the car getting unloaded and coming out of a bog hole, that's the kinetic energy that's doing that. And that's why they're called the kinetic rope. This one here is 10 metres long, got a braking strain of 12 tonnes compared to a static rope, which has a braking strain of like 28 or 29 tonne, right? Now, you don't want to be doing big recoveries and using a static rope. Again, with 28 tonne of braking strain, it gets to a point that it will break something, it'll put excessive load on the vehicle. It's what the kinetic rope is all about, and that's what you should be using it for. Now, the reason that these things have got such high load ratings is because they've got built-in safety factors, right? The safety factor will be built in on the engineering side of the actual recovery gear, but they also, Maxtrax recommend that you use a safety factor of say 2 to 3. So let's say, for example, you're recovering a 2-tonne program. You want to be using gear that can handle 4 to 6 tonne. So you've got a built-in safety factor there, which is where these things come in. Now these are the fuse shackles. So once again, like I explained before, D-shackles, chains, all of those sorts of connection, they're a thing of the past now. And the reason for that is when something lets go, if something was to ever to let go, you've effectively got, you know, a 1 or 2 kilo bullet flying at whatever speed. We've seen what happens when those things go wrong. There's plenty of videos on YouTube, and that's what these things are designed to do. Let's say, for example, that you get into a situation where you are overloading that safety factor of the ropes. That's where these things come in. Fuse shackle should always be attached. This has got a braking strain of 7 ton, yeah? Before you're gonna pull something off the vehicle and send something flying through the air, this thing is designed as a fuse. It's designed to brake at 7 ton braking strain and ensure that everyone's gonna be safe in the recovery. Then you've got core shackles. The core shackles are actually rated to 14 ton. So these have got the built-in safety factor allowance as well. These are not designed to brake. These are designed as attachment points. So how you should really run your recovery, should have a core shackle on one end, and if you're using a single rope, you have a fuse shackle on the other end. Now in the kit, so you get the 2 ropes in the beach kit. There's a couple of different versions. Check out the Maxtrax website. And then they give you 2 fuse shackles and 3 core shackles. Now the main feature of this, and the thing that I want to talk about today, is the fact that this is a kit, right? When you go with the beach recovery kit, and they have a couple of different kits, this is the simplest one that they offer, which gives you the advantage in the bag that you get so much more room for storage to pack your own personal gear in there as well. So let's say, for example, in Mia's car, I'll actually fill this with her tools, so she's got everything in the one location, and that's the thing, they've taken out the guesswork out of it. If you're into your real hardcore four-wheel driving, you're out using your winch a lot, you're going on big wheeling tracks, there's other kits in the Maxtrax range that really suit it. But if you're a bit of a weekend warrior, you're going down the beach with the kids, towing the caravan, you want to have just the right amount of recovery gear with you to get yourself out of trouble, I'd suggest that this is the right kit, and that's why we load this thing up in the back of Mia's Jeep. So jump on the Maxtrax website, have a look at the different kits. You can customize as well. So you can start with a base kit, and if you know that there's some other gear specifically that you want, you can order those individual items and pack them into the kit. Again, they give you enough room in the bag, super high quality, all the gear is fluoro, really hard to lose this stuff. I've been running this for years and years and years now throughout Patriot Games. All of my stuff is in really good condition, but that's a really good tip as well. When you get back from the trip, really take care of this stuff. You know, give it a wash out, make sure it's dried out before you put it back in the bag. Always inspect your recovery gear before you're about to use it. Make sure you've got no nicks, tears, or anything else. And the Maxtrax stuff will get you out of trouble pretty much every time. So that's about it for this video. I'm gonna finish loading up and I'm out of here.